So this is I don't know if I'm pronouncing it, but Arevik, Arevik. Okay, this is Arevik by FredD, which is a submission to the NEDC 4 contest. Finished 5th out of 15th with a score of 75.00. I did not vote in this, but I gave it a 75 as well. I think I had it in 5th in my rankings as well. It might have been 6th. I can't remember if I had Stoski's over this or not. It's been a while, but yeah, definitely sort of the medieval fantasy theme here. I know he had a bunch of content along with this, but I can't remember the story exactly behind it. But definitely out of the entries, this had the most sort of storyline along with it, which was a nice touch, and I think really, added an extra layer to it. Jesus, sorry about that. Also probably felt like the most unique in terms of like style and objects, which is a nice touch. I mean, this is the path he used and sort of the foliage temperature, and I don't know, a lot of the stuff in this park was definitely felt different from some of the other, or all of the other entries really, as well as having, 3 trains and also having the twister coaster trains. So yeah, I think he did a good job with the terrain. I guess that's kind of a natural thing that some of the people went with, was having a hill behind the coaster. So it's sort of like a one-sided layout, if that makes sense. And so with the plaza in the middle. I think he did a good job making it atmospheric. Some of the, this foliage doesn't really make sense because this feels like a theme park foliage. This planet right here, whereas everything else feels, straight out of like a, it just feels like you're contrasting your style here with the foliage and sort of the stuff here compared to everything else, which feels, straight out of like a fantasy movie or something, where this feels like out of a theme park. But yeah, I mean, I think this is, the theme is great. Atmosphere felt unique, architecture-wise. I like sort of the surroundings here. Was all a nice touch. I think the 1K ruins maybe went a little bit overboard in some areas, especially with the transition between the scenery blocks and the transition between the scenery blocks and the land texture. That was kind of awkward. I feel like that could have been handled a bit better. And I think he framed the layout really well, and sort of this other, coaster he shoved in here. It filled some nice space and used the terrain well too. Don't really know if it added much, but it was a good, well executed nonetheless, I guess. So moving on to the station area, nicely done, transfer track. I'll get to the queue, hold on. Yeah. Station, really maybe a little bit more open, but I guess that's okay. I guess this is alright. So here, this is my biggest problem with this, which is why I almost debated like giving it like a 65 or a 70, is that you have the entrance to the coaster over here. Alright, so now this is, I didn't realize this until after a while, because I always thought that this was the entrance. This feels like the entrance to this coaster, the main coaster, because it has a nice, large building here. You look behind it and you see this giant coaster. Say, okay, this is the entrance to the main coaster. No, the entrance is way over here. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me why you would have the entrance all the way over here, in my opinion, and then have the exit over here. I mean, you have to walk all the way over here to re-ride the ride. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe if you had the entrance like here in between the the Cobra roll, kind of go around the outside and back over. I mean, that would have made sense, but having it like, I don't know. I feel like logical queue entrance placement is something that people kind of don't really pay attention to all the time, but I kind of just, you know, put it in a place that's convenient, and usually the convenient place is close to the ride, but I don't know, this really bugged me in having the queue entrance over here, so you have to walk. I mean, the queue is cool, but you have to walk all the way around. Like, I don't know. This feels like a much more logical place for the queue entrance for this. I mean, I guess it's a bold move, but I don't know, it just made no sense to me. Same with this, I guess, because the ride's over here. Like, you would think like the entrance to the queue would be like so you can see what ride you're getting on, but this, like, you wouldn't have any idea what ride you're getting on if you were just walking here. Kind of same thing with this too. I mean, you can't. There's no way you can see this ride over here when you're getting on. I mean, I feel like the queue entrance for this should have been, you know, somewhere up on the hill so you walk down, but I don't know. That's kind of my biggest problem with this, is really this the queue placement made no sense to me. I mean, it was a cool idea, but I don't know. That really bothered me. I guess as well as you have a sign here. Where does this path even go? Guess you're just saying it goes underground. Yeah. You have a side for the area here, but you don't have it over here where the queue is. I mean, like, I don't know. There's some things that in this part that just really drove me up a wall, I guess. I don't know. Really well done. I mean, I really like all the architecture and sort of the color scheme. And maybe the only thing I didn't really like about the wall was brick. You have everything like wood, and then you just have brick. I don't know if it'd be that permanent, but yeah. I mean, the queue. I mean, once you get over here, it's cool. But just like the entrance, like that doesn't make any sense to me. So, anyways, I mean, it's a good solid design. 75, 70, I think. It's a good score. Nicely done. You know, ambitious idea. You know, sort of differentiated itself enough to feel like memorable and stuff. So, definitely well deserving of its placement, I think.